Hi.
Hi,
Finally.
we are here.
Yeah, it's today, it's today.
Yes.
Dayo.
Dayo, dayo.
Nĩ sorry tondũ ngwagĩrĩirwo gũkorwo ngũtũmĩire ciũria. No, let's just go with the flow. Like they
It's the
say.
best way. Yes.
Yeah, let's just go with the flow. I have an idea of the questions I'm going to ask you, but I think first of all, just start with introducing yourself.
Yeah. Uh,
No arie Gĩkũyũ.
go.
Arie
Okay.
Gĩkũyũ, gĩtwarie Gĩkũyũ.
Aya, njĩtagwo ngĩte kambogo wa Thuku.
Mhm.
Thuku mũciarĩ nĩ mbogo. Mbogo mũciarĩ nĩ mũturi. Ngagĩciarwo ndĩ mũngũi wa mbarĩ ya Marigũ. Mũihwa na Angũi a mbarĩ ya Gathĩnji. Wa kuma mũciĩ wĩtagwo Gatanga. Gatũra getagwo Kagarie. Ho matho nĩmathagĩra mwena wa Nairobi na ngĩrĩ mwenjeri to wa kĩrĩra kĩa maithe maitũ nginya irĩra ingĩ cia ndũrĩrĩ ingĩ tũgĩikaranagia nacio gũkũ thĩ ĩno iria ciũhĩgĩrĩire maũndũ mangĩ maingĩ makĩrie marĩa twanakĩigua thĩinĩ wa rũrĩrĩ rwitũ. Ngagĩkorwo ngĩenjera mau from the east na mangĩ maingĩ marĩa tũgĩkorwo tũgĩterera.
Wow, great introduction. Hiyo ni introduction ya nguvu ũrĩa tugaga. Reke nyambĩrie na gũkũria atĩrĩrĩ, tondũ andũ anini tawe rĩ, ti andũ aingĩ mangĩhota kwĩ introduce ũrĩa we introduce. Ti andũ othe mangiuga marĩtwa mao, kũrĩa maumĩte, mũhĩrĩga kĩ. Koguo ta twĩre ũrĩa wambĩrĩirie rĩu kwĩmenya.
Thabarĩ yakwa ya kwĩmenya ndĩanjĩrĩirie mwena wa ũndũire witũ. Thabarĩ yakwa ya kwĩmenya yanjirie na kwamba kwĩyũria ciũria nyingĩ mũno tondũ ndakĩrĩ hĩndĩ ĩyo ndakĩrĩ nĩingĩagĩtirwo mũkristo na thabarĩ yakwa yanjia hau ya kwĩyũria ciũria nyingĩ mũno nĩyo yũkĩte ngĩtaũkagwo maũndũ maingĩ mũno megiĩ mũtũrĩre, megiĩ thĩ ĩno, megiĩ the spirit world na megiĩ our own minds. Na thabarĩ ĩyo nĩyo ĩgakinyia nginya mwaka wa 2000 kalenda-inĩ ya Gregorian 2024. Nikafika hapo ndio nikaanza kujijua vizuri sasa pande ya culture. Hau nĩho ndanjirie kwenjera maũndũ ma ũndũire witũ nĩgetha ngorwo tondũ ndendaga mũno kwĩmenya tondũ ndakĩmenya mau mothe rĩ na ndakĩmatha maũndũ maingĩ rĩ niĩ kũrĩa nyumĩte rĩ nĩkĩĩ gĩkuo itarĩ ndĩramenya. Na hau nĩho ndanjirie gũkĩyethera 2024 ya
2024 na hiyo ona ti miaka mĩingĩ mũno 2024.
Hasa.
Kaĩ wathiĩ na ihenya atĩa?
Nĩ tondũ kĩrĩa kĩandeithirie mũno rĩ nĩ atĩ maũndũ maya rĩ nĩ kũririkana tũririkanaga tondũ nĩ maũndũ marĩ thĩinĩ witũ. Koguo waigua ũndũ rĩmwe ndũbataraga kũigua maita maingĩ wanjia kwenjera maũndũ maya tondũ arĩa othe mathiĩte mbere yaku maragia rũthiomi rũu Grand Rising wa Mariba maragia rũthiomi rũrũ na rũthiomi rũrũ rĩ na thiomi iria ciothe cigĩthiomagwo nĩ ndũrĩrĩ ciothe rĩ nĩcikoragwo cikuĩte memory. Koguo rĩrĩa wanjia gũgĩthioma na rũthiomi rwaku nĩ kũririkana ũkoragwo ũkĩririkana maũndũ ndũgũbatara gũbundithio ti ta ũrĩa ũngĩthoma Kĩitaliano.
Nĩ tũcoke hanini tondũ wauga warĩ mũkristiano. Nĩkĩ gĩatũmire wanjĩrie gũ question ũkristiano? Nĩkĩ gĩatũmire wanjĩrie kwĩyũria ciũria?
Ndanjirie kwĩyũria ciũria ndarora mĩtugo ya arĩa me kanitha na ngarora nginya haranio mararũa ngarigwo nĩ haranio ciana kũ.
Yes. Sorry, nĩ andũ marangeithia haha arĩa mokĩte gũka live. Nĩ kũma welcome, ndĩrama welcome. Thiĩ na mbere nĩ ndĩrakũigua.
Na menda ndukanie kĩrĩa manjĩre, no ndukanie nĩmĩ ciothe nĩgetha tũgĩthiĩ twĩ
arĩa mararemererwo mũno nĩ Gĩkũyũ rĩ no tũtukanie twĩ Gen Z. Tũtirĩ Gen Z we twĩ kĩrĩa twĩ kĩrĩu Ngai Mwathani. Anyway, nĩ maranyita ũrĩa tũrauga tũrĩ o anini tũrĩ o ethĩ.
Kama uelewi sema tu tukiswitch.
Okay, sawa sawa. Thiĩ na mbere.
Ũkũnjũrĩtie ũhoro wa pole. Cristiano, yes. Kĩrĩa ndakwestionire behavior cia arĩa mekũu kanitha-inĩ na ngĩona ũrĩa Bible ĩrauga na ũrĩa mareka. It's I add up 1 + 1 is not adding up. Ngĩenda kwanjia gũtuĩria where is the nĩ mataraiguana. So back then as a form of entertainment I used to read a lot. So I read the Bible twice. When I was in the years between 16 and 19, I read the Bible twice. And that's when I started questioning, because Revelation specifically, I read over and over and over again, most likely 5 times, because I really wanted to understand. So my questioning of the religion was me going back into history to understand this religion. So the more I understood it, the more it stopped resonating with anything yenye nilikuwa sahi naona in the front of my eyes. Yani tugitiga gukoro tupa.
Hena andũ marashare era andũ aku mashare onao arĩa me mwena waku nĩgetha tũingĩhe. Yeah, please share this live, guys, so that we can all benefit from what Avatar is talking about. Okay, thiĩ na mbere. Kai wora.
Ndio haha?
No wora hanini ndinamenya nĩ atĩa gwathiĩ. Okay, thiĩ na mbere.
So as I started questioning maũndũ maya rĩ nĩho ndokire kuona whatever is being taught. Gĩcoka rĩu ngĩmenya, first of all ngĩambire ngĩmenya atĩ kwĩ mabuku nginya makorwo mahithĩtwo Vatican andũ matetĩkagĩrie kuona. Hau nĩho ndambirie gũte apart the Vatican. When we were to apart the Vatican, nikaona there's a lot of issues there already with the way it was being led, with its role in murders, in a lot of things. So having seen all that, I decided, okay, I think I need to understand the world we live in more, because even if the Christian God is who we are taught he is, then either melala ama there's a problem with him somewhere, because all this BS cannot be going on while he is just seated. People can't be going through pain akiwa amekaa tu chini. So I started looking for meaning and the meaning of life and all that. That's when I stumbled upon teachers like Alan Watts and the monks, and I started reading about them. Nikaanza kuwasoma kidogo, gĩtaũkwo maũndũ maingĩ marĩa magĩbundithanagia, ngĩhota kwĩmenya ti ũhoro wa rũthiomi na kũrĩa nyumĩte, ngĩhota gwĩtaũkwo ta mũndũ harĩa tũkeragwo we Mũgĩkũyũ wĩmenye we wĩmenye wĩũ, nĩwamenya maũndũ maya mangĩ mothe, nĩwamenya kũrĩa umĩte, nĩwamenya ndĩra ciaku, we nĩ wĩũĩ. So in the search of God, I realized that I was only looking for myself. So the search for self now continued from there. That sort of sums up the journey, but it's a bit, it's a long one. We can definitely discuss it. Yeah.
I would say you're not alone, because a lot of us have gone through the same journey. Onoria ũraria ũkauga nĩ tũramenya, yani nĩ tũra resonate na what you're saying. And that's the beauty of this journey. We are not alone. There's so many of us remembering who we were and knowing what life is all about. So yeah, amazing. Utajira a little bit of background, your family background. Ũhoro wa gũthiĩ kanitha, ũrĩa mwabatithirio, indoctrination, sukuru, you know?
Yes.
Give us a little bit of background and how that affected you and your view of life. Wĩta Mũafrika, you know?
Yeah.
Ona wĩta Mũgĩkũyũ, you know? So tũkwambĩrĩria wĩta Mũafrika arabu tũcoke na wĩta Mũgĩkũyũ tondũ niĩ ndĩrona ta wĩ Mũgĩkũyũ wĩ. Koguo ambĩrĩria wĩta Mũafrika arabu tũcoke wĩta Mũgĩkũyũ.
As an African, when you start reading, lucky enough in school, we had a teacher, alikuwa history. Na alikuwa, actually, he wasn't a history teacher. Alikuwa was something else, but he always used to end his lessons with a story. The last 5 minutes, he would tell us a story about revolutions. And he used to like Che Guevara a lot. So most of his stories would be about Che Guevara. And from this, I learned about the fight for freedom and the continuing fight for freedom. Dasoka darora mwena wa Africa, you see the same things that are being spoken about. And we were also lucky to have been in school when Kibaki alikuwa. So the books we read also zilitufikisha mahali. We started questioning things that people never used to question before. So as an African, waking up to the fact that there are still things happening on the ground that extend what we thought was once gone, it becomes a wake-up call, not only for your own self, because now from that point of view of an African continent, unapunguza, now you come to the tribe and see how the tribe is affected as a whole, in terms of now in relation to what is happening to the whole continent. So sisi tumeona mtu kama, I have been alive to see Saddam akienda, I was alive Gaddafi akienda, I was alive all these countries ikikuwa invaded. So we have seen it happening. It has happened in front of our eyes, and then coming to learn afterwards that it was all orchestrated and not for the betterment of anything. It gives you a wake-up call, both as a from a continent level and from a tribal level as well.
Okay. He kiuria ndakũria na ndinaigua ta wacokia.
Oh, my own self.
Yeah. About your background. I talked about like how you, as every other African or every other Kenyan, I think we all have things in common, right? Na ndio kana tuthie na mbere na Gĩkũyũ kana tuthie na mbere twarie na Gĩthũngũ tondu no twarie ciothe. Yeah?
Twarie ciothe nigetha ona aria matakigua Gĩthũngũ. Okay,
tutukanie. Okay, sawa. Yes. So, as an African, we all have this in common, that we grew up mostly, if you're not from a Muslim family, you're from a Christian family, right?
Yes.
And there were rites of passage that you were taught were the right ones, right? Like you had to go to these classes, like religious classes, learn about, the Bible, Jesus, stories of Jesus and everything, right? And then as well, you had to be baptized, because if you're not baptized, then you're not a full Christian, and obviously you're tainted, right? So there's something wrong. You have to go under the water and baptism. And until that priest or whoever it is that is leading, until they say now you're holy, then you know what I mean?
Yes.
So what I'm asking is, how did that affect you? Yeah, as a young man, who doesn't know and is relying on the parents to tell them the truth. And obviously we tend to believe the parents are telling us the truth, right?
Yes. So there is that, but at the same time, what I know now is that we come in with the memory from the consciousness, from source level. So we know deep within us how things should be, right? Especially when all that needs to be the foundation and the basis of everything is love. So having that aspect in us that we can question everything that is not done in love is what makes one now start questioning what is happening, because you see people who live in the church compound who are supposed to be taking care of the church struggling in life, and yet people are tithing in that same church. So yes, it shapes you in a way that, first of all, mimi nilikuwa mpaka nimepeanwa church. At one point my mom decided ile kitu imebakisha ni kukupeana church.
Wow.
Yeah, so that happened, but not in the sense of that I had to follow anything or go through some special classes. Apparently she was following what, I don't know, was it Mama
was
Samuel?
right.
Yeah, it was something was done of that sort in the Bible. I can't remember where.
Which Christianity branch was it? Like which was it,
This is,
Anglican Church or Catholic Church?
no, this is AIPCA, Africa
AIPCA.
Independent Church.
Okay. Yeah.
So that is happening, and then you can see that an institution that is supposed to be based on love, because you can be able to filter things that are not passing through love. You can see that this was not done in love. You can see that this here is not about love. Then you get to the point that you start questioning from that point of view. So as much as it shaped us in a way, I think we were in a position to, and I speak for myself, I was in a position to start questioning things, because mimi as early as when I was 14 years old, I was done with the church. I was only going because it was mandatory in high school. And when it didn't fit, when I saw another better option, I started going to something called YCS, because YCS used to be shorter, 1 hour, but pia 1 hour ntalala tu.
Yeah.
So for me, I shut it out completely. And even in the environment I was in, I wasn't afraid to show that I'm fed up with that BS. Actually the CRE teacher alikuwa ameniambia wewe utapata hii because we were never on the same page on whatever they were teaching. So as much as it shaped me in a way, I also had the chance to start questioning that early enough.
Okay, cool.
Not to bring it over.
Yeah. So let's start like with your journey on like having now to kind of go, well, not go against, but you can't help but, have independent thinking in terms of, obviously your whole family believe in one thing, and then you're here, you're kind of learning new things that are shaping your life in a different light. So how was it for you? How was that transition for you?
I was lucky enough to have moved away from home when I was 14 years old.
Okay.
So whatever I did from that point in time, no one knew wherever I was or whatever I was doing. So no one was there to monitor whether I'm staying in church. And even when I went home to maybe visit, I never used to go to church. So no one ever questioned about that. And even now, so that also gave me the freedom to just do whatever I wanted and start going within. Yeah.
Wow, that's a brave thing to do, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So, like, most people, right? They're so busy in life, right? They are busy earning a living and all that. How are you able to get the time to kind of go within, if that makes sense? Not many people make the effort to kind of, get time to find themselves, and figure out what this reality is all about for themselves rather than what they've been told.
So before that, it's something I used to do on my passive time instead of, I don't think the TikTok was there by that time. Facebook was a bit, was not okay. I was not okay with Facebook. So in my past time, I used to do a lot of research on ancient aliens and to things like the pyramids and all that. So I used to use my free time to do a lot of research and to watch a lot of documentaries about science and some other few things. So that sort of pushed me towards where now I started learning metaphysics, quantum physics. Then in terms of philosophy, I moved from listening to mostly podcast, and then I started Tanzania, where I listened to Alan Watts the whole year. And when you listen to Alan Watts the whole year, something definitely happens in your mind. So I listened to Alan Watts. I think that was 2019, and that is where everything accelerated.
Did you feel empowered, or how was it different to whatever else other people are listening to? How was that for you?
Because Alan Watts prompts you to question your own reality. He doesn't teach. He shows you his way of seeing things, and then asks questions. He makes you ask yourself a lot of questions. Because to understand him is to question what he's saying. Yeah. And from that questioning, now comes the answers, because the universe always answers. The universe will answer in one way or the other. Either you get to see a show, you read a book, or you start going within and you get answers. Yeah.
That's so amazing. So what has changed in your life since this transition?
The transition itself, I can't say that it ever ends. There is no end date for the transition. We are always moving from one state of consciousness to the next. And in every state of consciousness, you get to learn who you are. And at that point in time, you get to question and you get to, first of all, question your own self, learn who you are at that point in time, learn to let go of that state of consciousness, and then stay in the state of your wish fulfilled, which is the next state of consciousness. Now, if we can be able to guide our lives like that, then we move away from now what you had asked.
In terms of change, because what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes in this awakening journey, right? No, I'm not saying all the time, but most of the time, this is my experience, right? Where you used to go before, for example, you no longer feel like going. Like, for example, if you're used to going out drinking, having fun with your friends, then you switch that and you go into nature, for example, and you just prefer spending time in nature, like quiet evenings, communing with the source, like that. That's what I mean. Or while you dependent on someone else to come and save you, you then realize that you have the power to speak into existence, right?
Yes.
So that's where I was asking from. That's the angle I was kind of coming from.
Yeah. Okay, I get that. So change is the only constant in life. So for me, it has been an overhaul. It has been a full overhaul in terms of things I used to do, things I used to like, ways I used to reason, and ways I used to view things and people have totally changed. And that extra awareness that you get helps you now sort of see all these strings between you and people and things and the way you relate to them. And then it changes, because any relationship, say, with anything that was based on pain and you have let go of the pain, then that string sort of gets cut. And that, I would give an example is, I used to enjoy a bottle of or two of whiskey. So that is something that no longer calls upon me, because the string that attached me to it is no longer there. So a complete overhaul for me. You can't be the same again.
Absolutely. That's what I was going at, And I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
obviously that obviously change is constant. Like we are still evolving, we are still learning, and it's beautiful because then you don't feel stagnant, You're always evolving and reconnecting with the true self rather than the person that the society want to see, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so cool. I have seen you've been reading a lot of books. Which book has been the most impactful?
I would say the first one was Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits and Kaizen, because they gave me a new angle to look at change. It being, you'd rather do 1% change daily than try to do a complete overhaul in a day. But you will get the complete overhaul in maybe a year, but you have to move 1% or 2% daily. So Kaizen and Atomic Habits taught me that. In terms of philosophy, Neville Goddard as a writer has been very impactful in not only, because Neville has two sides of him. There is where he teaches a lot of the law, and then there is where he teaches the promise, which is the process of awakening in every individual. So in both ways, he has been very impactful as a writer. So his books, his lectures, and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. So what did you study in high school? High school and university, or if you went to university or college, what was your dream?
I really wanted to do aeronautical engineering at one point in time, but someone else had another idea for me to do economics and finance. And I dropped that hot potato in the second year. And I never looked back. So I decided to become self-taught in everything I did afterwards.
So was that a university, and which university was it?
It was Kenyatta University. I was doing economics and finance.
Wow. So what did your friends say?
That's the thing with me. I've always been a lone ranger, I would say. So I make decisions and just people wanashtukia I made the decision. Yeah.
That's a very brave thing. So what did your parents say? Because obviously they're the ones paying the fees, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, they had to
And how is your relationship with your parents right now?
they had to roll with it. Because what for me to drop out, it's because I had a well-paying job. So my thought process was that I'm going to school so that I can get employed to get money, and
Yeah.
I'm getting the same money now. What the hell am I thinking? So I decided to drop out, sorry.
Yeah.
And my parents' reaction was, okay, you do you, as long as you are earning.
Yeah. That's all they care about, right?
All they care about, as long as I'm not asking them for anything, asking them to chip in. So yeah, that's how I did. But everything else I did after that was self-taught, because I
Amazing.
did project management afterwards, which was self-taught. I took up courses as I progressed in that corporate ladder.
Yeah, and it's beautiful, right? When you get to lead yourself and you get to get into things that you're very passionate about, right?
Exactly.
Amazing. Can you say that the world now has opened up for you more because of those decisions?
I know that every step of the way, because you can, when you just put a string here and try to connect all the way back the events in your life that had to take place for you to get where you are. If you change just one thing, everything changes. You get a different result. So where I am grateful for where I am. And the path I have taken, I don't think there is any other path that could have led me here. The trauma, the pain, the joy, the good times, the bad times, every little detail has led me here.
Amazing. So there was this thing I was gonna ask you. So you've not said so much about the relationship with your parents. So you just said that you know, they're just cool with it, yeah. How what advice would you give your younger self? You know, like if you can take yourself back to the younger you, what advice would you give yourself?
I would give him Kalyang books early enough, because I would like for that young man to understand the mother wound and the father wound early enough, because it's through healing those two wounds that I've been able. Actually, my process of awakening was me healing those two wounds, and now our relationship. My relationship with my parents is the very best it has ever been since I can remember my childhood. So you can imagine that, and it's both ways, my dad and my mom. And I would give him that for him to understand his pain and wounds early enough. Yeah.
Amazing. Can you go a little bit deeper on what that means? Because not everybody knows what mother wounds are and father wounds are.
Yes.
And there's so many young people who feel lost. They feel something is missing. And then what tends to happen is they find people who take advantage of them, you know?
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to them? And can you explain more so that they know which angle they need to approach their healing?
Okay. I would first of all describe in our formative years, that is from ages 1 and let's say up to 14 years, right? That's when we are programming our subconscious. That's when we are getting programmed into who we shall be. And the most critical years are years 1 to 7, but still the others do count. What we experience, the relationship we experience with our parents at that point in time, becomes the definition of how we form relationships after. Because the relationship between you and your parent is almost similar to the relationship between you and your significant other, and even with it extends even to other people, your place of work and all that. So if you're someone who never got the attention of both parents, right, when you were young, there is always an aspect of you, if you have not been able to see it yet, there will always be an aspect of you or a part of you that seeks to get recognized. And these are the people who push a lot, and they want to become the best in everything they do, not from a point of passion for what they're doing, but they have to be seen by being the best, right? They have to get that spotlight. You get an absent father, the boy child cannot grow to be the best man he can be, because without that, without someone to not imitate but rather to learn from, he never learns what is manhood per se. And the girl never learns what a healthy relationship would look like, assuming the parents have a healthy relationship, right? So these two now later on in life turn into mother wounds and father wounds. What you didn't get from your parents, from your one parent, becomes like a somehow it becomes your compass. It leads you to doing things, to being certain ways, to presenting yourself in a certain manner, to fill that hole that was never filled. And now it plays a big role until you get to see them and change them and change what you learned. Where you learned you were not enough, you remind yourself that you're more than enough.
Absolutely. Do you have that book with you there? Or if it's too far, that's okay. But
oh no.
you
Okay,
don't
these
have
are
it.
personal lessons. This one is a
Okay.
personal lesson. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. You would have shown us the books, and then I think that's a very important book to. Yeah.
The other ones I can share videos. They're on my page as well, actually.
Okay. Yeah, it would be nice. Like after this live, you can share the book you've shared from this live, maybe for the people
Okay,
who are here. Yeah.
I'll do that.
Okay, perfect. Do you sell books?
Yes, I do.
Oh, cool. Show us some of the books you sell.
All right, give me a minute.
Okay, cool. Guys, share the live, please, and also prepare your questions for Avatar so that I can ask her. I can ask him the questions. Wanjiku, thank you for following me. Thank you so much. So share the live, guys, before Avatar comes back. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will ask him as soon as he gets back. Thank you for sharing. Okay.
The silver mind control method. This one
They're
is
up
called
and down. They're up and down. So just tell us the name, yeah?
Okay.
Because they're up and down. It's okay.
Okay.
Upside
This
down.
one is called The Life and Teachings of the Masters of the East. These books are inspirational because they speak about yogis who had tapped into their own minds, into their own bodies, and were able to do things that people would call supernatural. So this one have been very inspiring for me because we don't know the limits of the human mind and the body yet. We have not seen enough. Yeah, we have not tried enough. We try a lot to have, but to be is a place that is not looked at. So yeah, this kind of books. Of course, Neville Goddard. That's The Power of Awareness. This one is called The Law and the Promise. Power of the Subconscious Mind. Mostly I deal with old books.
Yeah.
This is Elizabeth Town, Life Power and How to Use It. So mostly it's about the subconscious mind.
Absolutely.
And yeah, the game of life and how to play it. Yeah.
Earlier on, when we were talking about this live, I think we were going to talk about a manifestation, right? And how it's reflected in the Kikuyu culture, right? Can you just briefly kind of explain, please?
Okay. As I said, I've only been doing research on our own stuff, our own traditional practices for only about 1.5 years. But in that time, I have learned a few things which, marrying with what I have researched over the other years, if you bring the two together, you get a way to get teachings that people may assume are not in Kikuyu, but they are there. And that's why, for example, when we talk about the Ngemis, people don't really take them into deep consideration as to what are they really. Yeah, because there is the assumption it's just the relation and that's it. But when you go deeper, each one of them is a gift. I don't even want to call it a gift. It's a character that you are given, or that becomes awakened since birth inside you. And we know that we have the 4 for the girl and the 5 for the boy. And among the 4, there is Odhamaki, there is Ogo, there is Ũrathi, there is Otoga. And when we just basically look at Otoga, abundance, being wealthy, right? Otoga. Rarely do we get now to look at, okay, nimeambiwa hiyo ngemi niko nayo. What does it actually mean for me? How do I utilize it in life? Is it just a character for the sake of saying, or what is it really that I get as a Kikuyu child, a boy or a girl, by having this ngemi in my life, in me? You see, we never really ask ourselves those questions. And when you now move from Odhamaki, where everyone is seen has that power to lead, to rule, and not just to rule over the external but the internal. You see, you move from that and you have Ogo, that each and every person can be able to unravel what is happening within their own selves, learn who they are, learn what is eating them up, learn what is making their life go in a certain direction, learn what programming do I have in my mind, what beliefs do I hold in me that are taking me that way. Because Ogo doesn't just mean foretelling, it means that no uragure. Yes, uragura, no iragurere, sindio? Then kwiragurira is to understand, why am I in the situation I am in? Why have I been always in the same situation? And there it's actually like doing shadow work. If you were to westernize the term, you see? So all these are there, and now we come to Ũrathi, and we all know what Ũrathi is. And we really never go deeper into that to understand, okay, nimeambiwa dina power, dina hinya ũcio wa kũratha. What does it, what the hell, what is this? How does it work? Sorry. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, okay, sorry, someone was trying to call me.
It's okay.
So we never really ask ourselves these questions of, what is this really? Ni nini? But when we do, we get a sense of an awakening within of our own power, of our own capabilities, because now when you understand that ndĩna hinya ũcio wa ũrathi, no ndĩrathĩre, na to kwĩrathĩra tu, no ndathĩre mũndũ ũcio ũngĩ, no ndĩrathĩre mega thĩinĩ wa maũndũ mothe ma mũtũrĩre wakwa. You can, for lack of a better word, you can prophesy for yourself. You can foretell for yourself. You can manifest for your own self. Yeah.
It's very empowering, isn't it?
It is.
So for us who never had the Ngemis told to us, what do we do?
But you see now, that is not something that has to be said. It's something you're born with. The actual relation is just gokoya, negokoera is to announce that, yeah, but you're already born with it. You have the DNA, you're born with it. It can never be taken away from you. Neither can it be installed by anyone. All they do is announce that, yes, she's here. Here are her 4 relations.
Yeah.
And even if it is not done, it is already within us, each and every one of us, even those who don't know it. Yeah.
How powerful would it be for the next generation if we all embraced our culture and learned this heritage that was stolen from us?
When I sit down to imagine that, it's one of the most beautiful things you can see in imagination as a vision, because just imagine a people who make every decision based on love, peace, and oneness. Ubuntu is Oromwe in Kikuyu, Oromwe. That is a generation that is here not to conquer the planet, not to conquer Mother Earth, not to conquer any other person, but to build for the whole organism. You see? The whole collective is building towards the betterment of the collective. No one is pulling towards their own selves.
Absolutely.
Because, yeah, this is the generation that doesn't care whether you fire them in the morning. They are not afraid to die. They come with pre-installed information of there is no point in staying in fear.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can see how then the eraser of our culture, how then it may enable them to control us, right? Because it takes away your power, and your capability. Yeah. And then it's kind of like brainwashing, right?
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to our men who have grown up in this patriarchal system, only thinking about money, It's all about money. It's all about other words that I won't say here,
Yes.
That's with H. And all the, music, culture, drinking,
Yeah.
What advice would you give to those young men who probably are starting now to realize there's something wrong with the way I live my life?
I would like to not just to talk to the men, but to everyone in general, because first of all, I feel that the system, or rather what I have seen and observed, is that the system has a way of making a problem they make have fractional problems beneath it. So the first problem is made to have fractals and fractals. So you find that people rarely address the chief problem as they try to address these other problems, the fractals. But we have to start from the big fractal. And the big problem that we have as a generation is understanding that the system, we are in a slavery system. We are in a colonial system, which further divides itself to become now other definitions that people take up, like patriarchy, naming one part of the system patriarchy. The other person will say that it's capitalism. The other person will say that it's this and that. But we never really address the chief issue here, which is the slavery system, which is based on fear. So they will always create victims, because it's only victims who produce perpetual fear. that energy of fear. So the system is very good at doing that, at producing agendas that people are very emotionally attached to, for them to stay in a perpetual state of fear. Now, that makes people to overlook what the main problem is. And the main problem is that personal sovereignty is gone. Not the collective slavery, but personal sovereignty. Because the moment you know that you're a sovereign being, the moment you understand your own power, the moment you know that you are all that is and there's nothing that you can't do in this lifetime or in this life, then you never look outside for anything, including what you have been fed as fear. And I'll give an example. If you know the power you hold within, you're not afraid to be fired. If you're not afraid to be fired, it means you will always speak the truth, which means if someone tried to harass you, you would speak out the truth immediately. So from that first step that has been made, where you have had personal sovereignty, it has cascaded into your life in very many ways. Now, if you remove personal sovereignty and someone who is now entrenched in the slavery system, they will be afraid to speak up. They will be afraid to be fired. If someone harasses them, they will allow it to continue. You see? So it becomes about now us understanding how that system works, and each and every person gaining personal sovereignty and choosing not to live in fear anymore or in any form of victim mindset at all.
Absolutely. So how do we make peace with everything that has happened to us as Africans without being too like delusional, if I can use that word?
It depends with what we want to achieve, because if we want to achieve if we want to get what they have, it will take a lot of us physically fighting. If we still deem what they have as superior to what we can do, then it will take a lot of physical engagement. But if we start from where we are and decide that we are going to do everything our way, we don't need to import anything, we don't need to do anything, we start where we are.
And with what we have, right?
And what we have. Let's start learning how to produce chairs that are sustainable. Let's learn how to produce cars, cell phones, and all that. Everything from our own place and our own capability and our own way, our own designs, everything from us. That's the way we set ourselves fully apart.
I love that. I really love that. Yeah.
And that also removes the fear in them, because what keeps this going is the fear in them that we may one day decide to do what they did to us. So that makes them want to build fortresses and fortresses around them. And this is why they have billion-dollar industries to make arms. But if we can move our energy to a point where we decide we don't care what has been done, we are where we are, let's decide where we are going, where we say it will never happen again. No one will ever come to this continent and kill another African child for the sake of anything that we own already.
Absolutely. I love your advice. It's very, very empowering, right? Obviously, I feel as well that it's quite important for people to really understand what really happened. And that's the whole point of this platform, okay? Is to educate people, and especially our people. I live in the UK, so I've seen a lot, right? And I've questioned a lot. And I have seen where what the injustice of us not knowing the truth led and produced. I've seen the fruits of that, right? So this platform is here to educate, but it's not for us to dwell in the past. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's for us to understand what happened to us, why we are the way we are, where, the source of the trauma, right? And then ask ourselves, okay, what can we do, right? And I believe you're producing some of those fruits, that we need. And you're also kind of helping raise the awareness and the consciousness of our people. Can you tell me what it is that you're also doing, like you're intentionally doing to raise the consciousness of our people?
First of all, I share everything that I learn on my TikTok channel. I do meetups in Karura where we just meet up and talk about our lives, how we can use the power we have to continue creating our lives the way we want to. And above all, I now sell the books because I believe if every person can at least read one of these books, and even if they don't read, the person next to them will read it, then in a few years, by the time we get to 10 million copies, we'll have 10 million people who have touched a book about personal sovereignty and how to use the mind to create their reality. That's one more person who will pass on to the next generation that information. And by doing that, we have generations that are not bothered by public funds. We have generations that build because they know they have the power to, not because they want to be seen, right? We have a generation that do not base relationships on what can be in terms of material stuff, you see. So when we get there, then we can say we did something.
Absolutely. Hi, greetings, Sajay Miposi. Greetings. Yeah, it's amazing. Can you tell us what's happening in Kenya in terms of the awakened masses? Because we are still a very small percentage of people, but a lot is changing, right? And a lot of groups are coming up. Young Kenyans are starting now to, connect more with nature, right? I saw you in Mount Kenya. Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, when the mountain calls, you answer. I started going just, I swear, I don't know the reason why I even started going to Mount Kenya. The first one was just me seated at home on a Friday evening, and I asked myself, where can I go and spend the weekend? And I decided, okay, Mount Kenya it is. So that was my first trip to Mount Kenya. But once you connect with those grounds, something happens. It's like you form a forever bond that always calls you home. Yeah. So connecting with the mountain, connecting with other places. I've seen a lot of people. When we do these trips, we average about 70 people on a Saturday going to Mount Kenya. So you can imagine just 70 young people going up the mountain to connect with it, braving the cold, braving the steepness and everything, and still doing it. Yeah. So
it's not easy, is it?
No, it's not easy. So it's beautiful to see young people embracing nature a lot. Yeah.
I feel as well this is because there has been a lot of creators, right? Content creators that are showing us for the first time what's in Mount Kenya. Literally, this is our mountain and we have no clue what's there. We've never seen it. We've never visited it. We just see people who come from Jomo Kenyatta, straight to Mount Kenya. They do their hike, they do their content, then they go back to Europe.
And we never do. There's been a change and a shift in, because even, for example, where I live near tea plantations, and every Sunday, there are cars lining up by the roadside. People just want to be near the trees and the coffee plantation and just relax. No one wants to go to, and this is Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
So the same people some few years ago would have been in clubs, or other areas, other festivities. But I think Mother Earth is calling its children home, because the way young people are doing nature, it's more than just a trend. It's a call back
Absolutely.
home.
It's a call back home. And I do feel for Kenya, spiritually, something happened when Gen Zs went to the parliament and they decided to have breakfast there and sit on those seats and take the maize, which is a sign of authority. I feel there were some strongholds that were broken, there were some curses that were broken. And I feel if our people, our young people will realize what happened, right, spiritually, then they will take what's theirs, and they won't be afraid. And they will know that they are covered by, Mother Earth. And, it didn't just happen coincidentally. Like, it was meant to happen. It was time for us to be free as a people. And, Gen Zs were being led by our ancestors to go and take what's theirs, and take the authority away from them. You see what I mean?
Yeah. I happened to be in one of them, and the most amazing thing wasn't even that people did not have any fear. It was the energy. The energy was totally, I don't even know how to describe it, because there was a palpable feeling in the air, something you felt like you could touch. As people sang, as people cheered, as people, tear gas was being thrown and people would march towards it.
Yeah, I saw it. They were dancing. They were dancing in the middle of warfare. They're being beaten and they're still dancing. And I feel even the a lot of Africans, they were like, how what's wrong with these Kenyans? Because they're just going, like, they're not afraid at all, and they're very brave. So what would you say, because you are there, and I know you're talking to us about the energy that was there, right? But we only saw it on TV. So you who was there, you can kind of explain to us better, like what was going on.
Okay, in the physical sense, I would say it was constant battles, because the police were moving from all directions, and at one point, and what people were following, we were following, was people were following the crowds towards where the largest crowd is going. You just presume that is where there is safety, and people are moving in droves. And each and every time that we were pushed back, we pushed twice. We pushed twice, as in twice harder. Or I don't even know how to put that. We pushed harder twice.
Yeah.
And we kept pushing and we kept pushing. So there were those on the forefront. There were those pushing from the side of a place called Archives. And we were all on one main route, moving towards Parliament now. There were others. Actually, no, that was not the day of Parliament, but still, that was the goal that day. There were others that were coming from Valley Road, and because Valley Road is a bit raised, as you come into town, it's a bit of a slope. Huh? We who are on this side of the CBD could see a whole multitude of people coming down towards us, and now they could also see a whole multitude gathered, and it's like we were running towards each other. You're here, we're here. Let's do this. So that alone gave everyone the courage to keep moving forward. Those who were in front, I think they would now, going back to energy, I think they could feel the energy of every person who was behind them.
Yeah.
And when we now move to looking at it energetically, you understand that such an energy will forever be etched in the collective memory.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like when you get burnt, it's a scar that will always be there. So in the collective memory, there is always that it's possible for people to come together and rise up against anything that they don't like. So that is forever in everyone's mind. Forever.
Yeah.
So that is a spirit that will keep on growing. And if people can stand up for themselves at such a level, then it means even at your place of work, you can stand up for yourself.
Absolutely.
At home, where you don't have the voice to say anything, you can stand up for yourself.
Absolutely.
When people now, from that point of view, from that higher point of view, as a collective, as a country, it starts up, or it cascades down to the other levels in life for every person.
Absolutely. What a time to be alive, eh?
What a time.
It's
You were born
amazing.
in the most interesting of times.
Yeah, and on behalf of those in the diaspora, we want to thank you guys for the amazing, fight you put up, because even if we are here, we still feel your pain, I cried after watching the documentary of what happened. I was just crying because when we see a young person, like if I see you, I'm seeing my brother, and those are our brothers, and they just showed bravery. Yeah, they just showed brave. Okay, they showed bravery that we've not seen in our living memory. So it was very, very impactful, and that is also affecting us. Then we are like, okay, if our young people back at home can stand up for themselves, we also can stand up for ourselves, and and change the course of our destiny, right?
Yeah. And I don't know whether most people notice this, but something else happened within the same time frame of this protest. Because immediately after the political issues had sort of gone down, there came social issues where people needed help at different places. This is within a very small duration after the maandamano, less than a month actually. So the same people who had come together for the protest were now coming together to help out other people who are in need. So you can see that the mindset is showing that when push comes to shove, we can stand together to fight for our nation, to fight for what we believe in. But at the same time, we can also come together to do the best possible thing for a fellow human.
Absolutely. And I think that is going to be a game changer, right? When we Africans go back to who we were. I've been looking at the Kikuyu culture and I've been learning so much. Maybe you guys have come across some videos I've been doing in my language. And the reason why I'm doing that is to learn from our elders, that have been the custodians of our knowledge, our African knowledge, and then that way I'm able then to pass it on to our people so that this information can then go to the next generations, right? And one thing I have learned about the Kikuyu culture is that there was nothing like poverty, right? There was nothing like street children, right? After every harvest, there was a food stored just for the poor, and those who are elderly, and those who cannot go to farm and things like that, right? They were not street children because we took care of our own, right?
Yes.
So there's a lot of modern problems that were created after we lost our culture, and our ways. We then forgot who we were as a people. And there was no police stations.
Oh, sorry, could you hold on just a minute?
Okay, sorry. Guys, share the live. Peter the Great, Desperate Achiever, thank you for the flowers. Culture is experiment that works. Absolutely. JP says an example is the Eric Omondi Sisi kwa Sisi movement. It's been amazing, right? Wairimo Njoroge says that it's an awakening, 100%. Guys, keep sharing the live. Yeah, it's true. There was no poverty in Africa. They brought the poverty through the system that depend on us having poverty, right? Absolutely. Guys, make sure you put your questions down there so that we can address them. I'm gonna kind of are you in a hurry, Avatar?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, so we were talking about the Kikuyu culture, and the reason why I talk about the Kikuyu culture mostly is because I'm a Kikuyu and I've been exploring my culture, which is so important. And I would advise everybody to do the same. Know yourself. That's the first thing. If you don't know yourself, then then you're lost, right? It's so important that we know who we are. Continue with what you're saying.
Where were we? Remind me.
So we were talking about what happened after maandamano.
Yeah. So you can see the new consciousness setting in, one that is based on love, one that is based on people coming together to make sure that no one suffers. And if you suffer and we see you're suffering, we will be there for you.
Absolutely.
No matter what. Yeah. And that is opening doors. That opens a small door to something that people suggested. And most people will just sweep it under the rug. But I love a question that has been asked here, which I would drop into it.
Sure.
Where do you see Africa in 10 years, considering the awakening happening? Something happened during this time. Gen Z started suggesting building their own hospital.
Wow.
Because they saw the failure and they have seen that other solutions to try and fix it through the system have always failed.
Yeah.
Why don't we do it on our own? And for more than a month plus, it was a topic that was discussed in a lot of ways. And people started imagining what it would look like to even have other entities that are public owned but not under the government. That opens the door to people now shifting the dynamics to that. We will do whatever we need to do to cater for ourselves. You do what you have to do wherever you are. Whatever you've been doing hasn't been helping. Keep doing it. We will do our own stuff, hapa. And we are not resisting what you want us to do. We will do. Tutalipa tax zote na kila kitu, but hapa kuna hii msiguze hii ni yetu.
Absolutely.
And even if it starts with that 10% and the other side has 90%, at the end of the day, the 90 will switch to this side and the 10 will be on that side. Absolutely. Where now, in 20 years, we have built enough parallel institutions that people are getting the care they need at the best price possible, at the most affordable price for everyone. Yeah. So no one lacks any food, no one lacks basic needs. Then we start thriving as a nation, not only because we no longer live just for the sake of survival, but we also know ourselves, and that makes more people wake up.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
and before we've been controlled through politics, right?
Yeah.
So that stronghold is failing now. And then the young generation don't want to hear about politics. They can see through it.
Yes, definitely. They can see through everything.
That's amazing. And also I like the fact that a lot of Gen Zs are entrepreneurs.
Mm.
You know, they are doing their own thing, so they're not scared that the boss is going to see them protesting because they're doing their own thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the most beautiful thing. As in, the way I told you that my life was an overhaul, I also see an overhaul in the system. Things that used to matter no longer matter. People no longer care about getting a government job, I don't know, a good job. No one cares anymore.
Mm-hmm.
As in, I will do whatever I want to do. If my calling is selling glasses, that's what I'll do.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care what anyone thinks. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's the attitude we need.
Yeah, and also having such a platform, I feel somebody have just said here, just note what you are noticing the effort you're making. Keep it up. Thank you so much, Wairimu. And I will say the same to you, what Wairimu has said to me. People are seeing the effort, that our young people are making to make sure that this awakening happens and we don't go back. We don't want to lose anybody just because they are afraid or they are lacking in any way. We want to to start concrete, like communities, concrete communities that is led by love, right?
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. So can you tell us a little bit about what you do in the Karura Forest? I did see a little bit of it, but can you take me through the event?
Uh, I always say first of all, the reason why I don't charge for the event, because it's about each and every person sharing where they are at and what they have learned so far.
Mm-hmm.
And that coming together as like-minded people gives us a platform to exchange notes, exchange ideas. If there is something that hasn't been clicking, someone else will say something, and you will it will finally complete the puzzle that you've been trying to complete. So
Absolutely.
the aim of the circles is to come together, discuss matters life, how to navigate it. Sometimes we speak about healing trauma, sometimes we speak about uh, navigating the journey of awakening, sometimes we discuss um, everything is on the table, to say
Yeah.
everything spiritual is on the table. And the reason I've never even had a program, because it's a free flow sort of discussion. Whatever comes up is what we discuss. Wherever the conversation takes us is where we go. But we're aiming to make it more often, because when we were back in the church, we used to do every Sunday. We won't say that we'll do every Sunday, but at least we can do twice a month, I would say. Yeah.
True. True. And we've kind of forgotten how in our culture, everything was oral, right? Oral narratives, right? We would pass on knowledge through oral. We never had books or anything. We just passed it on from one generation to the other. And I feel we need to continue doing that. It doesn't mean that we're not going to write books, but we really do need to be the ones teaching the young generation, our children, how things should be, and not just let them learn from the outside world, right?
Yes. And also that helps in us putting, because one of the things that we try is to put the teachings that come from the East and all those places, you sort of put them in your language. if you can be able to put or rather to express the lessons you have learned in your language, then it means it have stuck in your mind kabisa.
Yeah.
So that is another thing that we try, because as you said, we never wrote. We were more we used to do oral tradition more, which means that our brains from an ancestral level are wired better for the oral, for the
Narrative.
discussions on what we take in orally rather than what we write or read.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, for a very long time, we've been operating in the wrong direction because we don't know who we are. We don't know what, we were more capable of doing, what came easy to us, And one thing that is easy for us as Africans, we are very good at, forming communities, very strong communities,
Yeah.
And we are very good at spiritual, worship and, being able to connect with the divine, So we need to know what our power is, and that's the power that we are going to use to move forward, if that makes sense, right?
Yes. Yes.
So
100%.
yeah, so we need to empower ourselves. I don't know if anybody have any question for Avatar. If you have any question, just feel free to ask. If not, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for coming on to this live and sharing your wisdom with us.
Before you go, I would ask you give me 10 minutes for me to explain something that
Absolutely, that's okay. Yeah, sure.
I really wanted to explain.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically what I try and share on my page, because as we have said, we have the power to create, we have the power to decide how our life goes in each and every moment. What we don't know is that we create our lives each and every minute. That if you're going to meet someone in about 30 minutes, by the time you're getting there, you have already had a conversation in your mind of what you're going to discuss. You have already imagined how you will greet this person, what most likely they will say to you. So every minute of our lives, we are having something called inner conversations. These inner conversations do not reside in the past, azirudingi nyuma, zitisokaga na thutha. What happens is inakujanga mbele yetu. It's what goes forward and creates our lives. And the way it does this is by programming the subconscious mind. Na subconscious mind yetu nita cassette. Cassette if you remember cassettes, you could overwrite what was on the cassette and have a new track recorded on top of, I wouldn't say on top, but it would erase the original and then unachona the one that you have recorded. So it would overwrite the song that was originally there. And our subconscious mind does the same. The conversation umeshinda ukihave the whole day is what the subconscious takes, overwrites on that mental cassette, and then tomorrow it gives you a life based on what was recorded in that cassette at night. So when you go to sleep, there is a layer of the mind that takes over, inaitwa subconscious mind entity. Everything that you have learned during the day, every experience you have had, every emotion you felt goes into the subconscious, and the sole job of that whole package yenye imeingia is to make sure that it produces a day tomorrow that looks like what you felt and experienced today. So that's why unapata if one thing goes wrong and you dwell on it, vitu zako zinaanza kwenda wrong zote, because the energy is of this one particular thing. So if we want to change our lives and what we're experiencing, it's to the subconscious mind that we go kubadilisha kila kitu. na subconscious mind yaku rĩ nĩyo tuga ĩthondekagwo nĩ meciria marĩa ũreciria o mũthenya. Angĩkorwo atinda ũkiuga no ũmũthĩ kũharĩte mũtakĩ, mũthĩ kũharĩte mũno, ũmũthĩ customer matiroka, your mind meciria maku, meciria mau megũikara hakiri-inĩ ciaku na nĩmo magatongoria mũthenya waku rũciũ, because nĩ matuĩka a program in your mind. So okay, sawa yuyu. So these thoughts that you're having during the day, these experiences that you're having during the day create your tomorrow. So how do you change your tomorrow? By programming the subconscious mind by your own willpower. By one, having different conversations during the day. If you've been hanging out with people na vitu muna discuss is about it's about complaining about the economy and other stuff, have different conversations, test it for a month and hang out with people who have different kind of conversations. If you've been watching the news, stop watching the news. If you've been watching movies that lead to a bit of sorrow or sadness, stop watching them, because hizi zote zinaingia in your subconscious mind, and that's how you change your fortune. Then we come to active creation, where now you want to create something actively, and it may be an experience, it may be a thing, and this is where now I want to give you steps that you can do. This is what I wanted to share before we go. I want to give you steps of what you can do.
Should they get their pens and paper?
Yes, if you can.
Yeah, let them give them a bit of time to get their pens and papers and write them down. Or they can write it on the comments and then kind of read them through.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Or screenshot.
Okay. The first step is knowing what you want. Remember, first of all, we don't think in words, we think in images. Every minute we think in images. If I tell you about a pink buffalo, you won't see the word pink buffalo in your mind. You will see an actual pink buffalo in your mind. So we think about everything in images. So step one, know what you want. Know exactly what you want. If it's land, you want 1 acre in a green place, know exactly what you want. If it's a car, know exactly what you want. If it's a grade in school, know exactly the grade you want in school. You see? If it's the result of an interview, know exactly the result you want. Everything in your life starts with imagination. So know what you want. And I'll give an example. I assume you want to pass an interview. So you know that's what I want to do. I want to work in that place. I have an interview tomorrow. I want to pass it. The step 2, select a scene that you are sure would happen if your dream came true. Let me repeat that. You select a scene that you know will definitely happen if your dream comes true. And the scene that I will choose is hearing the HR tell me, welcome on board. Just those 3 words. A handshake. So the scene that I'm choosing is we are standing somewhere, we have a handshake and they tell me welcome on board, right? So this scene cannot be more than 10 seconds. Just a handshake and welcome on board. Welcome on board, Dennis. That's what I hear. So that's step 2. You have selected a scene that will be, you know, it'll happen, which is one of those. Or you hear a friend of you telling congratulations, and many others that you can choose from. The third thing that you do is sit down on your couch, on your chair, on your bed, just somewhere comfortable, somewhere you can just relax your body fully. You know, when you have those afternoon naps and you can feel yourself drifting away, but you know you are not asleep. You can hear conversations, but you're still sleeping, and you're just wishing people can just move away and ulale. When you sit down, this is the state that you want to try and get into. A state where it's drowsy, you're sleepy, but your body is fully relaxed, but you are not leaning into sleep. And if you can just relax fully the body and get to that point, you start imagining the scene, that the 10-second scene. Now with me here, it's the welcome on board. So I will repeat this scene over and over and over again in my mind, but I'm not just visualizing it. I can feel the handshake over and over, and feeling the handshake, not just seeing the handshake happen. I can feel the handshake, and at the same time I can hear welcome on board. Welcome on board. I can also feel the clothes that I'm wearing, that if there was a tie needed, I'm wearing my tie. So I'm giving this example because it's easy to imagine that.
Yeah.
Because maybe all of us have been there one time or the other. We have found ourselves in that position. So once you do this, you are seated. Repeat it as many times as possible, and until you feel like either you're drifting off to sleep kabisa, or you now allow yourself to drift off to sleep. If you find it hard to feel yourself doing the handshake, or feeling the clothes on your body, or hearing the words welcome on board, you can imagine the scene. But as you imagine the scene, anchor your awareness on your breath. So as you imagine the scene, feel yourself breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe. Feel your breath coming in and out, in and out. The moment you do that, you anchor the scene. In the scene that you're imagining becomes a present moment scene, as in it's happening now. So which means it has already happened. Now that programs the subconscious mind, which then again triggers the reticular activating system for you now to get to experience this experience, and you may imagine. And if you can follow those steps, you can be able to create.
Wow.
Now the last one, though, but it's not a step. What you do from that point is try just living from the end. And by living from the end is, now whatever you are manifesting has happened. You already have the job. Now start imagining yourself sending the emails, imagining that you have to wake up tomorrow because you're starting your sprint. All those things that come along with being employed, start thinking about them. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's what I
That's
wanted
so
to share.
amazing. Yeah, thank you so much for those tips.
Yes.
I hope you guys have benefited and you're going to start manifesting wonderful things in your life. So yeah, if you have any question for Avatar, please feel free to ask right now. Let me see if you have any questions. I think somebody asked, if I can remember right, what inspired you to do what you're doing now?
Because I was looking for a solution on what part can I play in making sure that people understand their personal sovereignty. And one thing that for sure can assist everyone to start questioning things and come from a place of personal sovereignty is having every manifestation come true. Is not worrying about money, not worrying about getting sick. Just if everyone has everything they need, then we now start, the focus shifts not to sustenance, but to improvement of the self.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the last question that will come from me is, why are you named Avatar? What's with the name Avatar?
It's interesting. The first, I would say that the inspiration was, of course, Avatar, the last airbender. And it's because the whole series is about the journey of awakening, with him starting off having slept for more than 100 years, which you look at spiritually, that's the sleep before the waking. And then he has to integrate everything that is of this earth. He has to learn the ways of all the nations for him to be able to access what would be called the avatar state. And the avatar state is the state of the highest self. For him to embody the highest self, he has to learn everything that is of this world, and at the same time learn to balance his energy centers. And he also, the last lesson is about detachment, and that's when he's able to get into his avatar self. And we are all here trying to understand our own selves, and every day peeling layers upon layers upon layers of who we think we are or who we were taught to be. And as we get to learn who we are, we understand reality and the universe more. And with that understanding comes the detaching from everything else that is material. And then when that is done, we can reach the avatar state, the state where you have tapped into your highest self. And to get there is a journey. We are all in it. So my name Avatar is a manifestation of me getting there.
Absolutely. Amazing. So what's next for you? Is there any events coming up? Yeah.
Yes,
Talk about.
we will be in Mount Kenya end of month from date 28, 29, 30. We come back on the 1st. So it's a 3-day trip, camping. Anyone who is interested, there is more space still. Yeah.
Cool. Maybe when I come to Kenya, I'll join you guys.
Yes.
How much will it cost?
For day dashes, it's about 4,900. For 3 days, we are looking at the ranges of 23,000. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's so amazing. So thank you so much for sharing your light with us and your journey with us. And I'm sure a lot of people have benefited from what we've talked about today. So thank you so much. And thank you, JPs and everyone else that have contributed to this conversation. I really appreciate.
I'm humble. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Bye.